Today I want to talk about foundation, and a foundation that you may not have heard about, but I have used for 10 years now. It is Youngblood Mineral Cosmetics Loose Mineral Foundation. A lot of people don't think to go to a powder foundation. Everyone always thinks about foundation as liquid. For me, I absolutely love this foundation. It is a sheer to full coverage foundation, and again, people usually think of powder foundations as light coverage. You can get full on coverage with this foundation, and I'm gonna show you how. It is amazing for covering up pimples, and because it is a mineral line, you can put a full face of foundation on every single day and your skin will breathe and heal while you wear it, which is extremely rare for foundation. I discovered this line when I was 20 years old and I had adult acne. I was using just drugstore, the cheapest foundation I could find. I was in makeup school and I had no money. So I was just using whatever was cheap, and my skin was just getting worse and worse and worse because the foundation I was using had bad ingredients and it was suffocating my skin and it was clogging my pores and making the problem a hell of a lot worse. Of course, at the time I couldn't afford to go for skin treatments or get facials done. Lucky for me, I started working in a spa, and the line that they were carrying is Youngblood Mineral Cosmetics, and I got a 40% discount. So, you know, it was still much more expensive foundation than what I was using, probably twice the price with my discount, but I cannot tell you how it changed my skin. Within a month of switching to Youngblood Mineral Cosmetics Loose Mineral Foundation, pretty much all of my adult acne was gone. I have never turned back. How many years later? 11 years later. I swear to you, I try other foundations and I just go back to Youngblood every single time. So let me show you how to use it, because it is a powder and people get very confused about how to use this type of foundation, and if you don't know how to use it properly, you won't like it. So let me show you how. This is the foundation that I choose to retail on our online shop and in our store. So all you need to do is decant the powder into the lid. You can buy this foundation in the pressed form, but the coverage is not the same. You can only get sheer to medium coverage with the pressed version. With the loose version, you can get sheer to full coverage foundation. So first of all, when you're using a mineral foundation, you'll actually want to use your concealer to cover up any pimples, blemishes, red spots first. When you use a liquid, it's the other way around. With powder, you put your concealer on first. I am very picky with my concealers and I'm always experimenting with new ones. I don't currently carry a concealer in our shop right now because I haven't found one that I love enough. My favorite one right now is by Evio Beauty. So Evio Beauty is a Canadian line, and it is also made up of wonderful ingredients. They're vegan, cruelty-free, and for the most part, they're organic. If you order anything from Evio, eviobeauty.com, use promo code FAY15 and you'll get 15% off. So all I'm gonna do is pop my concealer over the top of the blemishes, literally paint it on. And if there's anywhere else that you need to cover up too, any blemishes, if you want to do under eyes, between the brows, wherever you need a little extra coverage, that's where that goes. So I've applied it and I'm just going to feather out the edges by pressing the product into the skin. Perfect. Now it's time for my Youngblood. So the rule with mineral foundation, or at least powder mineral foundation, or powder foundation in general really, is the fluffier the brush, the less coverage you'll get, light coverage. And the more dense of a brush, the more heavier coverage that you'll get. You'll get more of a full coverage. So basically, I want to keep the product on here. So I'm gonna take my powder and I'm gonna press and roll in the areas where I need more coverage and where I really want that product to stay. So I'm pressing, rolling. And honestly, if you have like bad skin, you've got lots of rosacea or pimples, and you really want to cover it up, this foundation is the quickest and easiest. So press and roll wherever you want heavier foundation. And then when you're ready for your lighter foundation, you just use circular motions and buff it onto the skin. And so this foundation will go onto your skin like a powder, but once it actually mixes in with the natural oils of your skin, it will finish like a liquid. So it becomes extremely glowy. I was in the sun yesterday, so I'm a little pink, so I'm gonna have to bronze myself up to even everything up here. So I wanna keep the coverage under my eyes here, so I'm dabbing there. And then I'm wanting to blend, I'm using my circular motions here. And you really can just build it up. So if you just do a little dusting, it's just gonna be nice and light, or you can keep on building it up, building it up, building it up, and it's gonna become a full coverage foundation. I don't like too much coverage, especially when the weather is beautiful and sunny outside like it is today. So I'm gonna go with that amount, I think. A little bit more on my chin here. But you can see how that blemish is so well covered. I always like to use up the rest of my product. Waste not, want not, is what Mrs. Smith always used to say in school. And that for me is just perfect. Give it 5 minutes or so, it's gonna settle in with my skin and it's gonna look beautiful and luminous and beautiful and luminous. I said that twice.